Blog Talk Radio.
Hello from the other side.
Now presenting
From the other side.
Channeling Erik's Hour of Enlightenment.
Hey guys, how is everybody? This is Elisa, and I think Erik put a number on me because all of a sudden it went to away from the studio page onto the login page, but we're good. All right, so you guys, if you don't know it, Erik is my son who passed away a number of years ago, and now he's a spirit guide. And we have a special guest with us. First of all, we have two special guests. One is Marie Klasky, a medium who is amazing. And another is Jamon Olivencia, who has been working with my son, actually, and doing, making great progress. So he is a motivational speaker, and he'll discuss that too. He wants to start out by discussing the importance of understanding where others are in our lives, including the phases they're in. Understanding those phases will help us understand ourselves more deeply, right? I mean, we've all had the whole thing where we're into spirituality and stuff, and we have a family member that's like, oh, God, you're cuckoo. I don't get it. So that's just one instance of the disparity in phases, right, and the level of evolution. So take it away, Jamon.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on the show again. Always appreciate the opportunity to just have an awesome conversation about this stuff. I think it's fascinating, and I think this is where we really have the opportunity to grow all the time. Erik, what's up, my man? I hope all is well. Good to connect with you again, my friend.
What up, my man? All is superb, spectacular, and wonderful. He's ready if you haven't.
So, Lisa, talking about, or I guess you could say understanding where people are in life is of importance, because a lot of the times we're going through things ourselves. And what we don't seem to understand about others, which I find so funny, the things we judge in others is really the things we're enhancing more in ourselves. So I think it's interesting to put ourselves in situations where when you are being kind of a jerk or when you are maybe nitpicking somebody or critiquing them or offering this sense of energy that doesn't seem so smooth and it's more rigid, you're not really looking at it from the phase they are in their lives. I mean, it's like looking at a child, and you know where the child's at the age of 5. They're playing with the toys. They're doing very simple things, but obviously you're not going to talk to a child about maybe death at that time, or maybe you are. But the purpose is the child can't necessarily relate to the phase you're in because you've had multiple points of focuses, you could say. So a phase, in other words, in my opinion, is a sense of focus. So what's your focus? So how many, Lisa, you've been on Earth longer than me. So you've had many more points of
everybody.
focus.
What are you talking about? And don't rub it in, right?
Right. Oh. No, but you get what I'm saying? It's this idea that you have more experiences. So if not everybody, of course, can relate to what you've been through. And then, yes, of course, there are people who can relate to what you've been to or because maybe they've been through it themselves. But let's just assume we haven't gone through anything like that. I think it's important as human beings to kind of just stop and just chill out and actually just put yourself in their shoes, like actually use your imagination. And in doing so, you'll create this sense of empathy. And I think that's lacking in the world today.
Oh, gosh, it is. It's interesting because although I feel like obviously I have more experience than, for example, my children, that doesn't mean I can't learn something from them, and I have many things. And raising my children has made me a better person, a more humble person. So even though somebody is, quote-unquote, less evolved or whatever, I don't like that term, less experienced, it doesn't mean you can't learn something amazingly valuable from them.
Absolutely. I think that's the whole point. That's why we all need each other at the end of the day. Most of us want to cherry pick what's good or bad in our experiences, where I'm getting to this point in my focus just personally where I don't know if I'm looking at everything as good or bad anymore, and I'm just looking at it from a point of view of like, okay, this is just what is, you know, and so my reaction to things and how we react to things creates that effect. So the idea of being open to what you're saying or being open to what your kids are saying or this get rid of this idea of one's better than the other type thing and look at it from, okay, this person has just a different focus than I do and how we can benefit greatly from it. It's really finding value in your moments rather than anything, I would say.
Yeah, if somebody cuts you off in traffic, you could just yell at them and call them an asshole, but you can also say, wow, you're here to teach me patience. I need that.
Or I did that yesterday to somebody.
Yeah, really, that's right.
I have Erik over here, and he looks like Horshack from that old-time Cotter program. He's going, ooh, is it my turn yet? Ooh.
Oh. Yeah, pipe in, Erik. Come on.
Hi, Mama. He's so excited to be here and to talk tonight because he's saying, he says, Jamon, you do a whole lot of great work with kids. And the thing about it is you make yourself available so you can reach right at the core to where, our awakening needs to be at the kid level. And I want to say a couple of different things. Jamon, you were talking about focus, and you're in your own focus. And when somebody does something that annoys you, you don't get it. Well, man, I can tell you from experience, when I would get lost in my own head, no matter what it was, I perceived everything differently. It didn't matter what somebody was saying to me. I perceived it differently, and it wasn't because what they were saying or how they were saying it. It was because
so it's all
I was
about
perspective. Absolutely,
Yeah.
Mom. All about perspective. And Jamon is speaking to what needs to happen to get you to a new level of perspective, because it is about focus. But you're right. We're here to learn and observe everything, and we do. And the person that stops thinking that they learn is going to have lots of pranks and fun things waiting for them. But here's the thing. We get in this focus, and no matter what it is, good or bad, we tend to get lost in that, and we do lose perspective. So when you have a kid and this child's going through something and needs your full attention, and you're having a shitty day at work, you got yelled at and nothing went right, and the poor kid is there, and you're all focused in on that day, you have to stop. I want you all to take 3 really deep breaths. And remember that this child is still learning, still needs love and direction, and mostly love. And have a 5-minute conversation. So that's all I'm saying. Start it with 5 minutes. If it takes more and you can draw more out, I'm going to tell you that these episodes of getting closer and having a new conversation about how to adjust rather than react to things is going to take place. And, you definitely have to speak to the level of your student. You have to communicate to how they can relate to the situation. So remember when you're communicating with them to give them examples that they can relate to.
That's awesome, Erik. Jamon, I want you to touch on this. I think a lot of times people that are not in the same phase of life that we're in simply need acknowledgement, A lot of people just don't feel like they're acknowledged or valued. And if we do acknowledge them, that can go so far.
Wow, Mom, you said a mouthful, right? What do you think, Jamon?
Yeah, I agree 110%. She couldn't have, you said it as good as it can be said. And I think one of the main things is going back to what you're saying about honoring people. We're always kind of like what Erik was saying too, like we're always sometimes in our head so much that like we're not even acknowledging or honoring others, and they feel that. They may not understand it in that moment, but they energetically feel that. And I think that's where this whole mental worship of it's like sometimes we end up playing these mental games with ourselves about stuff. So in actuality, in those now moments, we're creating more confusion. But I think that's a big peacemaker, what you said, Elisa. And I think honoring others is one of the most important things, and that's why people get mad sometimes. It's everyone reacts differently to everything, but eventually we do have a point where we all blow. How many times have you been crazy by yourself? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So,
but I noticed that people who go on and on and on and on about the same complaint, it's usually because they don't feel like they've been acknowledged yet. And if you want to shut them up, sometimes you just have to acknowledge them.
Absolutely, Mom. Sometimes all it takes is you looking at that person and say, I'm sorry that happened to you. You want to talk about it. Just once.
Right.
And to not only acknowledge it, but let them know it's okay to be having emotions, to feel what they feel about that. Because some people just want to be heard and know that it's okay to feel and that somebody else would be like them and feel like that. Because some people don't even know how to feel. You'd be so surprised. Surprised.
Speaking of which, I would like to ask Erik, what do you think about how Jamon is helping your little brother?
Mom, and I have to tell you what he's doing right now. He's pointing to you, Jamon, and he's doing a fist bump on his heart. Like 3 times. He gives you 3 heart bumps, and he points right to you. So he says, bro, I am so grateful that you came into my bro's life. He needed a little something. He needed a little guidance that nobody else could offer him. And I am so grateful to you. Lucas
Lucas is not the only one that he can help. Jamon, tell us about how people, and we're not finished with your expertise, but, tell us what you have to offer other people. It's amazing. He's very powerful in the way he can change your life. So go for it.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks, Erik, by the way. And by the way, Elisa, I love your son, Lucas. He's a brother for life, and he's such an awesome kid. He is awesome. I adore him. You know what I like about Lucas? This is, and without telling people about your son too much, he's very honest. Like he knows what he wants. Yes. And I'll tell you what, he's got balls, and I think that's cool. And I think
I've never seen
that's
him.
always a
Not
good
since
to
I
have
changed his
someone
diapers
shoulder.
last, but I haven't seen them since I changed his diapers last. But
lucky you.
Yeah.
But no, you guys can. If anybody wants to book a session with me, I cover a lot of different things. It's more personal development, spirituality. I don't try to dabble in other people's belief systems or stomp on it. I like to honor everything, and I like to have mainly the discussion. So if you guys want to get in touch with me, find me on Facebook or go to my website, JamonOlivencia.com, and check me out. And, appreciate you guys just listening in. I feel like these conversations are where we grow, and because in this now moment that everyone talks about so much, the now, it's like, well, if this is the case, then surely our beingness in the now is what's going to create that next ripple effect situation for ourselves. So having these conversations, I believe, is kind of what clears the air, and it goes back to Elisa and what Erik was saying about just like honoring people. Like when we're honoring each other, we're clearing this energy out of others, and it's happening where? In the now. So everyone wins. So anyway, appreciate all you guys.
Yeah, and you give talks to corporations and schools and all sorts of stuff too, right?
I do, yes, I do, and I'm doing even motivational poetry right now. I didn't realize I was gonna fall into that. I was doing it as some videos on YouTube, and then events and corporations started booking me to do that. They're like, well, we just want your poem stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, we could do that. So that's kind of been an interesting turn of events that I wasn't expecting along the way. So it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
That's great. Anything else you want to say about? I think we have still a lot to cover about how to understand and tweak our perception, our perspective, and get along with people who are not exactly in the same phase of life we're in.
Yeah, I personally can speak to that. And not only just not the phase of life we're in, but to the world events that are going on today. So not only did I just visit Norway, I visited Germany, Russia, Estonia, Finland, Sweden, somewhere else, Denmark. So what I noticed personally, it was an amazing cruise, and I learned so much. I was so enriched, and what I noticed personally and spiritually is that all these people that I encountered on the streets and the souvenir shops that lived in these places, they all get up every morning and they eat breakfast and they have a cup of coffee and they go to work, and you know what? They go and they walk their dogs and they pay their bills at nighttime, and they like to party and go out and be friends. And there's others that in Russia they were not as friendly. Honestly, they were not friendly at all, and I had to take my judgment and turn it around and realize that they have a very skewed perspective of Americans. Number one, that they don't realize that we get up and we go to work every morning, but they do, and they live in mostly dark times, and it rains there all the time.
Oh, awful.
So who am I to judge this and say, oh, they're mean? Well, you know what? Maybe my perspective would be different if I lived there as well. So I stood back a step and I said, you know what? I'm sending you all love from my heart chakra. I hope that you smile today and every day gets a little better for you.
That's awesome. That's
how I turned it around.
Yeah, if you feel like you're judging somebody in a negative way, send love. Because sometimes, or actually mostly, the people who are most difficult to love are the ones that need it the most. So what do you think, Jamon? Tell us more.
Yeah, I think it's always the challenge of looking at yourself. For me, this is just a me thing, and I challenge people to try to look at it from this perspective. That's what's cool about life is you can look at it from multiple different perspectives and still experience
infinite
those same
numbers.
realities.
Infinite, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. So if we could play, to me it's more about being conscious of that, like understanding that. That's where it's like understanding that law. Because what we don't do is we don't ever think, okay, am I being present right now? Like when you're upset, it's like being the observer of you being upset versus being upset and trying to observe you being upset. You can't do that when you're in it sometimes. And so it's understanding how to practice that. That's why I think deep breaths are important, like throughout the day. If you're not going to meditate or anything like that, I would suggest at least take deep breaths throughout the day. Because for me at least, what happens is everything starts to kind of center together. So when you see your circumstances come to you, or when you go into your circumstances, however you want to view it, you're actually looking at a direct reflection of yourself instead of feeling that this thing that's outside of you is opposite of you. I think it's important to understand that what you're experiencing is you. So it's like, how do you want to walk through the waves? No matter what, you got to walk down that road. But the question is, how are you going to react to it?
I
That's
agree
amazing.
1,000%.
What you just said. Amazing. And when you take deep breaths and are aware of those breaths, that's when you're in the now too. That's what I love about the breathing exercises, etc., because that is when you're not worried about the past, not worried about the future. You are in the now, concentrating on just putting life into your body.
We're in the now right now. you know what I mean?
We're in the now.
So,
we're in the now.
Anybody that's listening, seriously, I challenge everybody to use their imaginations right now as we're just sitting here and imagine just light surrounding you, just going around you, swirling, 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 swirling. It doesn't stop. Why? Because we're just saying it as we speak. So as long as we're creating it as we speak, then it's happening as we speak. It's only happening right now, So now you just empowered yourself. And that's how fast we can put ourselves in situations of feeling like shit or situations that feel, okay, I'm ready to at least try this. It's not about just being like positive in your moment. It's like having the willingness to just experience it. You know, most of us are in such resistance. So anyway, I'll shut up. But I mean, that's how it's like being that focus.
Well, Eric,
that's
wants
amazing.
To
do you have
to
any? Go ahead.
Eric
Go ahead.
wants to say the more you can do that, Jamon, and raise that vibration and have the intent to have that light always around you, the more you can do it, that'll be your go-to more than the depressive and lack side of it. So if you can do an exercise and keeping yourself in that higher vibration, that'll be your go-to, and you'll find more joy in life.
Jamon, any particular exercise that you can share with our listeners to accomplish that?
You know, that's one of the main things I always try to focus on is how can I teach this to others still, because everybody's who they are. You know, this is just how I am. So obviously the way I go about it sometimes may be different than everybody else. But for me, it's about, I would say, use the exercise of, like, whatever you're experiencing. Most of us like to complain when we're experiencing something not so good. So, like, in those experiences, like, literally try to find the laughter in it. Like, try to find something funny about it, or try to see why it's even happening to you, but try to look at it from a humor perspective. Say, oh, yeah, I did create this, you know. When you do that, you'll start understanding your synchronicities a little bit more, and you'll also create a peace within yourself during those moments, too. If that even makes sense what I'm saying, it's all about how you use your imagination or your head. You know, that's
and
the
humor
game here.
raises vibrations.
The game, to me, is using it.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
well, thank you,
in
Jamon.
essence, that's how you raise vibration.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, Jamon. I hope you stay on because we might need you. But I want to give a big shout-out to liveparanormal.com. Awesome radio station. You guys need to check them out. liveparanormal.com. Check out their different shows they have. It's not just us, of course. So, Erik, Marie, are you ready to take callers?
I'm ready, Mom, and I'm always ready.
All right. We have somebody here from the 530 area code. Hi there. How are you doing? And welcome to the show.
Hi. I'm so happy to be able to talk to you guys. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Marie.
We are
Hi,
too.
Erik.
What's going on?
Hello.
I'm calling from California. Hi. I'm calling from Northern California. I have a ton of spirits in my house. I sometimes can see their light, and I'm pretty sure they're trying to send me messages. And I was just wondering if Erik could tell me what they're trying to tell me.
Sure. Erik's saying the reason that you're seeing all these lights and recognizing the spirits is because you're very open and sensitive to it. Remain being in the positive. Yeah. Remain being in the positive. There's nothing negative around you. And I want you to know that these are relatives. These are spirit guides. These are spirits that are around and related to your house that have good energy within these walls. You know, you can feel the residual energy as well, being open and sensitive as you are. So here's what I want you to do. This is an experiment for you in trying to open up the gates of communication to the other side. I'm going to tell you it's easier than everybody thinks, because you don't have to worry about, am I getting it through my ears, my eyes? What I want you to do is open up your energy field and see what you experience. Do you smell things? Do you hear songs in your head?
If it's Erik, you probably smell things. Sorry.
And if it's me, you'll smell not so wonderful things if I don't want you to. But this is all to communicate, to open up your skill level so you can communicate with all your guides.
Well, what is she meant to do with the skill level? What is she meant to do with this?
Sorry?
Right, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, what is she meant to do with this amazing skill level of hers?
Stand by, because I'm looking at him, and he's got his hand on his chin, playing with some chin hair. Hold on. Erik says, listen, you can do anything you want with it, but here's what I'm telling you what you like to do. You would like to go to other people's places and experience the energy as well. You could clear the fear in the air that they're experiencing anything negative. You can go to houses and clear whatever is there. You can pull the spirit energy and energetically wash it. If you feel like it's something that they're hanging out and they've been here a little bit too long. You know, I don't want to say like a ghost hunting type of guide, but you could do so much in the field of translating fear into love.
Oh,
Wow.
my God, there's so much need for that. So much. Because so many people have spirits around them and are scared shitless. Don't know what to do with it. So, yeah.
Right. I feel a lot of love
Absolutely.
coming at me a lot of times. I live by myself, and a lot of times I can just feel the love coming at me, and it's almost like they're looking at me, trying to make me feel the love, and I do feel it. And I sometimes even say, look, I feel you guys. I know you love me.
So spiritually,
That's sweet.
from myself as a medium, what I can tell you is that's how it all begins. Because no, you're not afraid. And then what I was stuck on when I was at your point is, well, I know you're here. Who are you, and what do I do with this, and what do you want me to say, and you know, what is this information that you have for me? And honestly, what it was a progression of learning how to communicate with each spirit. They don't all communicate the same way. So I take their energy into my field, and like Erik was saying, because he's taught me, do you smell pretzels? Do you smell baked goods? Do you smell like a human scent? Is that how they communicated to the other side, or to you, how you know them? Are you experiencing, some discomfort on the body and your head where you normally wouldn't? Maybe they're trying to communicate to you how they passed over so you can identify them that way. Are they playing songs in your head? Are they playing movies in your head? This is all the way you take them into your
I get a lot of
energy.
physical things like my ears ringing and that kind of stuff. Sometimes I get like a slight tingling in my head. So I think that's when I kind of know they're around.
So,
Well, before we go
yeah,
to the next caller, what is the next step for her, Erik?
write that shit down. Open up your energy field and write down your random thoughts, smells, hears, whatever you feel. And that's how you open up the conversation.
I think you probably
You
probably need more information. I have a feeling. So get in touch with Marie, maybe, and book a session, because I feel like Erik has more to tell you. I really do. All right, thank you for calling.
Love. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
You bet.
Much
And
love.
Marie will give her website at the end of the show. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right,
Thank you.
All right, next, somebody from the 210 area code. Hi there, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. What's going on?
Hi, I just want to say thank you, first of all, for everything you do, and appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yeah.
I just had a quick question about my job. Does Erik have any advice for me on my job, and does he know how long I'll be at this position?
Erik's like, hey, what up, girl? And what I want to tell you is that this is not the ultimate job for you. It's just a job. It's not a love. So
I knew it.
The universe is pushing you to get out of that and to stop living in the fear of when is your head going to go on the chopping block, because that's no way to freaking live. You can't flourish and you suffer all the way around, and there's no need for it. Be proactive. Dump them first. And if you don't, it could be in the next 3 or 4 months that they would write a pink slip or lay you off, whatever you want to call it. But whatever you look for, make sure it's something you love, and there's better stuff out there. Focus on what you want.
Like what? What should she look at? Or maybe you can't say. Maybe she has to figure it out herself. I don't know.
well, Mom, it's like everything else. If I give you the key to it, like the lottery, that wouldn't be any fair, and you wouldn't learn anything if I told you everything. But here's the thing.
Well,
I feel
give me
like
the numbers
there's
to the lottery. Seriously. It's okay. We can cheat every once in a while, right? No, I'm kidding.
That would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what he's saying. Just whatever floats your boat, whatever you feel like you're drawn to. And he's not giving me more than that, and I'm sorry about that. This might be...
I couldn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
He
said that whatever floats your boat, pretty much. Jamon, do you have any advice for her on how she can find her passion, work-wise?
Yeah, I think it's like not being afraid to take so many risks, because no matter what, life's going to provide you with the resources to support your ideas anyway. Does that make sense? Like it's like what are you passionate about? What are you passionate about?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the profession I do now, I love it. When I get excited, when I see I'm not going to say the profession I do on air, but what I do per se, as soon as I get with my customers, so to speak, and their family members, I light up
Oh, my God, you're not a pole dancer, are you? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, I don't do that. No,
it's okay.
No, I light up like a Christmas tree. When I see them and when I'm around them, I feel like I learn about life from them, like everything Erik teaches. I learn from them.
But that's not the only way that you can learn.
Right.
So by embracing that more raises your whole entire vibration. It's like it's always finding where you can work on yourself. Where I think you get in your head a little bit is you get in your head. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, when you get in the head and you start creating this definition, you hold on to it, and now all of a sudden you're on this focus, and focus reflects existence. You know what I mean? What you're doing, right? What you're focusing on. So it's easy to get caught up in those things because we fear shit. There's things we're afraid of. There's things we don't want to look at. There's things that are hard to face, and so like I understand like that part of it. You know what I mean? There's a multitude of different realities happening sometimes, but it's really kind of getting down to what the hell makes you feel good, though. Because it's easy for us to go opposite of what makes us feel good. Whenever something feels uncomfortable, we usually don't like to look at it, no matter what it is.
What she does, if she likes what she does in her current job, what's wrong with staying with that particular company? Or is there something wrong with it? Is there another company? Or should she go out on her own? I don't know. What do you think, Erik?
It depends on her, because
Erik said just by asking the question, there's some doubt in your mind that you would have a future or they would not want you.
I'm sorry.
So
y'all keep cutting in and out. I'm sorry.
Erik said that because you've asked this question, there must be some doubt in your mind that they want you there at this job and that you have some worth at this job. And somewhere you feel like you get more out of it than they get from you. And that's why you don't feel as secure in this job, even though you love it. You don't feel as secure as if you felt like you contributed more.
Right. Is there something that happened in your life that made you feel like you were not worth anything or worth enough?
No.
No, Erik's looking at me and he says, it's just your confidence level here because you feel like you're still learning. Girl, you keep learning. You learn every day. Believe in yourself.
Oh, don't we all? Yeah.
I want you to know that you ain't junk. You got this. You're going to grow and expand. And just know that if you like it there and you want to stay there, that's what you focus on. You get what you focus on. So don't focus on what you
manifestation.
Don't want. Right? Lose that thought if you want to stay there.
Okay. All righty. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet. Thanks for calling in. All right. We have somebody from the 551 area code. Hi there. What's going on?
Hello.
Hey, what's up? You hear us?
Oh, I'm on. Hi. I just wanted to. I'm Gail from New Jersey.
Hi, Gail.
Hi, Gail.
Hi. I just wanted to ask Eric if he has any messages for me. Anything
One nice,
at all.
powerful, generic one. I love it. Go for it, Erik.
I'm open.
He's got a thing with playing with the hair on his chin tonight. I'm like, what's up with that, man? He's like, what am I going to pull out here? And then he laughs. Because he's just messing with me. I'm like, come on, don't mess with me like that. Shit, dude. Don't leave me here. But, okay. The first thing he's doing is he's jumping up and down in front of you, and he is saying hi.
Hi. Oh, and I've been trying to get in. Sorry.
Right. He's saying hi, and he wants you to know that it is him fucking with you in your house, because he's like,
no way.
Marie, you don't even know. Remember when I first did it to you? And you're like, is it yes? Is it no? I don't know.
Oh,
and it was me all the fucking time. Well, she does the same thing. Must be something with you, Jersey. So,
are you from? Oh, okay. You're from Jersey?
Originally, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I am.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So what he's saying is trust your intuition. You're at a point now where you think he's there and you think you feel other things. And he says, you really do. You really do. You've been conditioned to not believe. You have been conditioned to not believe, and he's making me feel like some kind of background. He may have had a religious background that intensified that backing, right? So
that'll do
it.
it.
Like this. That'll do it. Yep. But he just wants you to say, acknowledge them. Acknowledge them all. And it's him. It's him fucking with you. He just showed me. Mm-hmm. Yep, he just said that. He just showed me that you were looking for an object, and you couldn't find it, and you looked in the same place, because what he showed me is him manipulating the energy around something, and it looks like something pink or a heart or a piece of jewelry. I don't know. But he manipulated the energy around that so you couldn't see it, and he's over in the corner watching you, giggling. Because he's like, yeah. So he did it. He claims it.
No, that's great. I mean, that's actually the question in my head a lot. Yes.
Awesome.
I want you.
That's so cool.
I just want you to know, don't be afraid of any of it, and it freaks you out at first sometimes, but once he does it a couple times and you get it, Tim, it's more funny than.
Oh, he's harmless. Just be his bud, man. Just be his bud. Talk to him. Have a relationship with him.
Oh, I
awesome.
want to. I do. I have started talking to him, and I've been just kind of asking that, so it's great. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
You bet. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Again, for station ID, it's liveparanormal.com that makes this all happen. So thank you, liveparanormal.com. And Rob, the producer, thank you. All right, here's one from the 703 area code. Hi there. How are you?
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call. Hi.
Sure. Thanks for calling.
I've been unemployed since January, and I just wanted some advice and guidance on Erik and if he sees something coming along.
Can you repeat your question? Is this on career?
Oh, okay. I've been unemployed since January, and I've just looking for
that I would call a career question.
For sure.
Okay. He's jumping up and down over here for you, and he's like a cheerleader. Oh my good Lord! I got to give you the vision he's giving.
Uh-oh.
Red, white, and blue, and it's like a half shirt. I can see his bleachy white belly and belly button. And he's got a short on, a short skirt.
Oh,
and,
no.
Got his hair in little pigtails, and he's jumping up with pom-poms. Okay. He's being really silly for
Oh, Jesus.
I get these things that he makes me laugh, so I have to share that. But he's doing this for a reason. He says, you are not your own cheerleader. Girlfriend, let's get this attitude out of the gutter. You are amazing. You are good because they laid you off. Does not mean that your work wasn't good and that you're not worthy of another job. Because right now you're in your head. Why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? And, oh, my gosh, nobody's calling back. And, oh, they don't want me. That is a conversation with the universe. And right this second, he's jumping up and down again. He goes, I want you to start being your own cheerleader. Fuck yeah, I'm great. Fuck yeah, I got this.
Will that help manifest a new job?
That's part of it. So what he's saying and what he's alluding to is that you have to change your energy to attract other things. So he wants to help you raise your vibration and raise your energy so you can attract more of that higher vibration. Because right now you're like, why isn't anything happening? And that's what you're attracting. Don't forget, immediately the universe will turn around and give you exactly what you put out there. And it hears your thoughts and it hears your emotions.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, if
that.
you're saying nothing's happening, then the universe is saying nothing's happening. Well, so Jamon,
nothing's happening.
There's a lot of calls about career here. You know, when you have somebody who has been laid off or is unemployed for a while, what can you say to them?
I say, you know, it's all about being the best you can. It's understanding what's in front of you. Of course, it's extremely stressful when you're in those situations, and we usually think right to the worst things, right? We're like, holy crap, da-da-da. But I think the idea is really to kind of just take action immediately. So if that means looking for a job or doing what you can to get where you want to go, because what happens is when you start focusing more in on it, do you ever notice people do a lot better when they're cornered? Like when you're cornered at the wall, like you have to do something. You have to make a move.
Yeah,
and
panic
usually,
time.
I would say 9 out of 10 times you usually get through whatever you're going through. The other 90% of that is usually like totally like worrying about what's going to go down. And I think it's so yes, I understand it's stressful, but on the other hand, I would say, hey, just be the best you can and like focus on what you're trying to get done. So if it's a job you got to get, just get something to keep going. But as you're doing that little journey, you're going through the lesson that you need to go through. And in my opinion, that's where you find the juice of it. You know, to see the holistic, to look at the whole, you got to be able to take the steps to get there. You got to do the little things that get you to where you ultimately want to be. And those little things sometimes means eating shit for a second, or so it seems that way, right? Because after you get there, you're like, oh, haha, now it makes sense. Those experiences provided me the fortitude to even just keep on moving forward. You know, it takes I think it takes a lot to really keep people down, and I can even, just listening to you, I see that you're strong anyway. So it's just a matter of being patient, as patient as you can, and be as understanding. You know, it's just chilling out in the moment. You're gonna get it. I have no question about that.
So what advice do you have for her in the immediate term?
In the immediate term
Jamon
is
Erik.
just listening to. Sure. In my opinion, just listen to what I'm saying, and not saying you have to do this, but just like listen to the conversation, what it means. And what I'm really saying is I'm not going to give you a particular advice or formula that's going to do this, but what is going to work is understanding that you're in this, you're going through a journey right now to learn something about yourself that you haven't conquered yet, and that's what you're doing right now. So through this, through taking action, whatever that means, if that means going out and looking for another job or whatever it means to you, that's through following your passion. Because what you're passionate about when you're cornered is what's going to show who you really are. And you calling in and doing this right now is already the steps towards that. Or the moment is where all your answers are provided. It's not about me being right or wrong in this situation. It's just about being open to the information. Because Eric's going to say something different too. So it's just about being open to it all and soaking it all in. But you're already evolved right now. That's what I want to make you aware of. So before I hand it over to Erik, remember this right now. You're already more evolved now than you were moments ago when you were talking about this. You're already more evolved. The download's there. So anyway.
That's awesome. So Erik, what do you have? What advice do you have? Specific steps in the immediate future.
I want to speak again to changing your energy and making it higher and lighter and having confidence in yourself, even if you're just filling out the job form. I want you to focus on what you want. When you do that, you attract better things. And when you're attracting and you're feeling better, you're not so low and you're open for things to come. I want you to go and think about what it is that you really want to do and what you're passionate about. You're not stuck in a corner. You're definitely very competent. I want you to know that. And I want you to call on me. If you think you're scared or, I don't think I can do that, that's over my ability level, say, hey, Erik, what do you think about that? And you'll feel me. I'll come in and I'll say, hey, no, do it, just do it. I just want you to try new and other things. And know.
Thank you. Okay, well, I hope that helped you.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Okay, let's take somebody from the 416 area code. Hey there, how you?
Blog Talk Radio.
Hello from the other side.
Now presenting
From the other side.
Channeling Erik's Hour of Enlightenment.
Hey guys, how is everybody? This is Elisa, and I think Erik put a number on me because all of a sudden it went to away from the studio page onto the login page, but we're good. All right, so you guys, if you don't know it, Erik is my son who passed away a number of years ago, and now he's a spirit guide. And we have a special guest with us. First of all, we have two special guests. One is Marie Klasky, a medium who is amazing. And another is Jamon Olivencia, who has been working with my son, actually, and doing, making great progress. So he is a motivational speaker, and he'll discuss that too. He wants to start out by discussing the importance of understanding where others are in our lives, including the phases they're in. Understanding those phases will help us understand ourselves more deeply, right? I mean, we've all had the whole thing where we're into spirituality and stuff, and we have a family member that's like, oh, God, you're cuckoo. I don't get it. So that's just one instance of the disparity in phases, right, and the level of evolution. So take it away, Jamon.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on the show again. Always appreciate the opportunity to just have an awesome conversation about this stuff. I think it's fascinating, and I think this is where we really have the opportunity to grow all the time. Erik, what's up, my man? I hope all is well. Good to connect with you again, my friend.
What up, my man? All is superb, spectacular, and wonderful. He's ready if you haven't.
So, Lisa, talking about or I guess you could say understanding where people are in life is of importance, because a lot of the times we're going through things ourselves. And what we don't seem to understand about others, which I find so funny, the things we judge in others is really the things we're enhancing more in ourselves. So I think it's interesting to put ourselves in situations where when you are being kind of a jerk or when you are maybe nitpicking somebody or critiquing them or offering this sense of energy that doesn't seem so smooth and it's more rigid, you're not really looking at it from the phase they are in their lives. I mean, it's like looking at a child, and you know where the child's at the age of 5. They're playing with the toys. They're doing very simple things, but obviously you're not going to talk to a child about maybe death at that time, or maybe you are. But the purpose is the child can't necessarily relate to the phase you're in because you've had multiple points of focuses, you could say. So a phase, in other words, in my opinion, is a sense of focus. So what's your focus? So how many, Lisa, you've been on Earth longer than me. So you've had many more points of
everybody.
Focus.
What are you talking about? And don't rub it in, right?
Right. No, but you get what I'm saying? It's this idea that you have more experiences. So if you know, not everybody, of course, can relate to what you've been through. And then, yes, of course, there are people who can relate to what you've been to, or because maybe they've been through it themselves. But let's just assume we haven't gone through anything like that. I think it's important as human beings to kind of just stop and just chill out and actually just put yourself in their shoes, like actually use your imagination. And in doing so, you'll create this sense of empathy. And I think that's lacking in the world today.
Oh, gosh, it is. You know, it's interesting because although I feel like obviously I have more experience than, for example, my children, that doesn't mean I can't learn something from them. And I have many things. And raising my children has made me a better person, a more humble person. So even though somebody is, quote, unquote, less evolved or whatever, I don't like that term, less experienced, it doesn't mean you can't learn something amazingly valuable from them.
Absolutely. I think that's the whole point. You know, that's why we all need each other at the end of the day. You know, most of us want to cherry pick what's good or bad in our experiences. Where I'm getting to this point in my focus, just personally, where I don't know if I'm looking at everything as good or bad anymore, and I'm just looking at it from a point of view of like, okay, this is just what is. You know, and so my reaction to things, and how we react to things, creates that effect. So the idea of being open to what you're saying, or being open to what your kids are saying, or this, get rid of this idea of one's better than the other type thing, and look at it from, okay, this person has just a different focus than I do, and how we can benefit greatly from it. It's really finding value in your moments rather than anything, I would say.
Yeah, if somebody cuts you off in traffic, you could just yell at them and call them an asshole. But you can also say, "Wow, you're here to teach me patience. I need that."
Where I did that yesterday to somebody.
Yeah, really, that's right.
I have Erik over here, and he looks like Horseshack from that old time Cotter program. He's going, "Ooh, ooh, is it my turn yet? Ooh, ooh, ooh."
Oh. Yeah, pipe in, Erik. Come on.
Hi, Mama. He's so excited to be here and to talk tonight because he's saying, you know, he says, Jamon, you do a whole lot of great work with kids. And the thing about it is you make yourself available so you can reach right at the core to where, you know, our awakening needs to be at the kid level. And I want to say a couple of different things. Jamon, you were talking about focus. And you're in your own focus, and when somebody does something that annoys you, you don't get it. Well, man, I can tell you from experience, when I would get lost in my own head, no matter what it was, I perceived everything differently. It didn't matter what somebody was saying to me. I perceived it differently, and it wasn't because what they were saying or how they were saying it. It was because
it's all
I was
about
lost
perception.
in. Absolutely, Mom. All about perspective. And Jamon is speaking to what needs to happen to get you to a new level of perspective, because it is about focus. But you're right. We're here to learn and observe everything, and we do. And the person that stops thinking that they learn is going to have lots of pranks and fun things waiting for them. But here's the thing. We get in this focus, and no matter what it is, good or bad, we tend to get lost in that, and we do lose perspective. So when you have a kid and this child's going through something and needs your full attention, and you're having a shitty day at work, you know, you got yelled at and nothing went right, and the poor kid is there, and you're all focused in on that day, you have to stop. I want you all to take 3 really deep breaths. And remember that this child is still learning, still needs love and direction, and mostly love. And have a 5-minute conversation. So that's all I'm saying. Start it with 5 minutes. If it takes more and you can draw more out, I'm going to tell you that these episodes of getting closer and having a new conversation about how to adjust rather than react to things is going to take place